All right, welcome back to another episode of the Karter Cast. I'm your host, Karter Baughan, Dylan, Connor. It's the same suspects. It's here. It's every week. We're back. We're back, guys. This is 15 now, right? I'm losing track.
It is 15.
Don't even bring it up. It's sad.
We've got fantasy playoffs this week. Someone has a bye in here in our league, but
Someone's
fantasy,
kicking their feet up.
Yeah. I'm grinding out here. I got fantasy playoffs this week. You got your loser fantasy playoffs. The NFL season's almost done. We're less than 2 weeks. We're like 10 days from Christmas. Dylan, I know you're the biggest Christmas guy on this podcast. Insane.
It goes too fast as you get older. So, side note here, my grandfather, not classically educated is what I'll say. Very few credit hours at the University of Dayton. Played a lot of basketball. But
my guy.
He always said that as you get older, the Christmas goes by faster, summer goes by faster, et cetera, et cetera. Listen to this. Let's think of a pie chart, right? You got your life in a pie chart. Every year you live, the year gets smaller. Your pie chart is composed of more years. So every year you live feels like it's shorter and shorter because it is a smaller portion of your complete life. And that was one of the most profound things I've ever heard him say.
Wait, yeah, that's kind of sharp.
Yeah, or honey, go make me a cup of coffee. One of those two.
I definitely never heard woman make me a sandwich.
So we said sharp. We need a pick from him for this week.
We might need one.
We might. We might.
Shoot.
After dropping that piece of logic on us? Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, you said
did he just do shrooms and just say that? Or
that's possible. Yeah, I think the shroom days were 20s and 30s. I think he's over that now. But
wait, Dylan.
Relapse, we never know.
You said very few credit hours, played a lot of basketball. Did he go to Carolina? Or he's in Dayton? No, okay, sorry.
The joke is he was good in basketball in high school, not so much in college, and we always joke that we don't know if he has more points or credit hours.
That's good.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's good. Anyhow, so rundown today, we're going to talk about, preview a few games, different NFL topics. Same old. You know how it goes here. And then little housekeeping items, basketball. So no NFL recap this weekend. It's going to be basketball on Monday. I know, Dylan. I'm so sorry. We're having college basketball and NBA pod on Monday. That's coming out. And then we'll be back. Big preview show. We got to talk Christmas. We have a Christmas draft. We got to do the Christmas draft. So we'll have that. Be ready for next week. So quick rundown for that. And you guys ready to get into the NFL?
Let's do it.
So. Week 15.
All right. You could say, oh, you guys need to do bowl games. You guys need to do, all this. We're only going to give one bowl game pick because it's impossible to do these bowl games.
Yeah, don't want to lessen our credibility by trying to throw darts at a moving target like that.
It's impossible. Follow us on Twitter at Connor_Sparrow, at Wilkerson, Dylan, at CarterB8 for bowl picks if you need them. Or whatever y'all's actions accounts are.
Right, exactly. Or we'll give one for this weekend on this show, and then or we'll give one for the next weekend. As they come, as more information comes out. If we have one we like, we'll just say it on the show. It's not going to this whole thing. Because if I get locked into a pick right now, all of a sudden their whole offense opts out, we're screwed in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so. Exactly. So today we got to talk about there's Saturday football now. We're back to Saturday football. I think the last Saturday game I vividly remember was last year, Colts Vikings, when that crazy comeback happened. I remember I was in a mall and all this because I left at halftime. I was like, screw this. Went to the mall, went shopping. All of a sudden, the Vikings are winning the game.
That was the 30-point comeback, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Connor, how confident are you that game was on a Saturday?
I'm not very confident at all.
I think it was on Sunday.
No.
I think
I was no. Impossible because I was living in Idaho and those places aren't open on Sunday.
Okay. All right. I believe you. For some reason, I thought I was on my way to a wedding, and this wedding that I'm thinking of, they definitely would have their wedding on a Sunday, not a Saturday.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I haven't.
I could be wrong. I was pretty confident, but now
it's a Saturday.
Come on. Don't even try me down. Right. Anyhow, do you guys like the Saturday games?
Yes. I've always been, we've talked about this on the show. I've been a huge proponent of there are too many games at 1 o'clock on Sunday. That's why I like the London games, the Germany games, the Brazil games. I'm all for that. I'm all for once the playoffs start and they do the 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on, yes, because way too much happens week 1 through now.
Now
on Sunday at 1 p.m.
I got to say, NFL Sunday has conditioned me because there's up to 9 games in the 1 p.m. slate. So in my mind, I'm like, I get all this. It's tough to absorb all 9 games. But then I go to like the NBA to watch a bunch of NBA one night. And so I have the game on the TV and I'm like, it goes to commercial. I need to get another one on. So I'll pull up my laptop, get another one on. I have like 3 or 4 games running at a time. I think I'm incapable of sitting down and watching one game and it having my attention span the whole time. Unless it's like a team I care about.
I'm slowly becoming, it's impossible for me at this point. It's slowly trickled into going to games. This is going to be a hot take for people, but I hate going to football games.
Wow.
The timeouts are out of control. Maybe that's me, old white guy yelling at the lawn, yelling at clouds, but I'm tired of it. The traffic sucks. The seats are uncomfortable. The timeouts are so bad. We just had a timeout in between 4th down. We don't need it after the fair catch.
Well,
let's play ball.
You might not need it, but guess who does, Karter? Those TV companies. They need
the 4 letters
commercial revenue
on your head. ESPN.
You know what that first letter is? Entertainment, and that's commercials.
What I would say about going to football games in person, I kind of agree with you. Professional football games are not as fun to go to in person, and you're exactly right. All the breaks, all the whatever. And then if your team loses, it's like you can't just flip the channel and get over it. Like you got to leave the stadium, especially if you're in enemy territory. You got to deal with all the opposing fans. And then the
traffic is so bad at these NFL games too.
Never, ever, ever do I drive to these things. It's either someone else is driving, I park somewhere, like we're staying at we're staying at a hotel and we Uber to it and we Uber back.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing that. But I will say, conversely, if I'm going on a trip and Abby and I have talked about, maybe going to Houston the second time they play. So in a couple weeks.
You're gonna show your face in Houston after what you've been doing on Twitter?
I'm definitely going to that football game if I'm in town and the Titans are playing. Like that, there's no question about that.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Next time I'm in Vegas and the Raiders are in town, I'm gonna make sure I go to that game.
It's like when you're going on a trip, it's almost like a tourist event. But I'm not going to a Bengals game just to go to a Bengals game because they're an hour and a half away.
Dylan, you better make sure Sarge isn't in town when you show your face in Houston.
Sarge can stick it where the sun don't shine. Stroud has a 90-yard game, and he all of a sudden he deactivated his Twitter account.
What's going to be hilarious is Davis Mills going for 350 and 3 touchdowns this weekend. That's going to be the cherry on top of the Sunday.
I would almost be okay with that.
What about Goodell? What about Roger Goodell, the burner?
Shout out Roger Goodell. He's been a little quieter, but I tweeted some video about Stroud, and he just tweeted 2 emojis. This emoji, same emoji. That emoji.
Yeah,
if you're listening on Spotify, this is terrible, terrible radio.
But there's another guy I hate. It's a burner account, Fred Sanders. His profile picture is just something from it looks like a deranged family member character. I don't even know. Maybe he's from something. But yeah, if I'm going on a trip, like if I were to go to Chicago and the Bears are playing a home game, I don't care who they're playing. I'll buy a ticket and I'll go.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
I feel the same way about baseball. Baseball's a lot easier though because typically traffic isn't insane, and also tickets are $5.
Yeah, so many more games, so you don't have to dish out $70.
Show up in the third inning.
Yeah, and I have no affiliation. Yeah, the one Mets game we go to, Connor, showed up at the bottom of the 3rd, left at the top of the 7th.
Yep.
DeGrom threw like a one-hitter. I didn't care. I'm out.
Yeah, we got butt cheek seats for like $6. It was like school day over the summer. All these summer camps were there.
Yeah, we're sitting here with the kids from the Bronx, YMCA Bronx.
Yeah. Guys, they must do it every single game because this past May I went to a Yankees game when I was in New York for work. And there were it had to be at least 25 field trips of kids just at the Yankees game. I was trying to get my chicken tender New York Yankee helmet bucket, whatever thing. And I have to stomp over all these little kids coming up to my hips. I'm like, whoa, you guys aren't in school or what?
Yeah, no autographs. No autographs. I am the CJ Stroud guy. No autographs, please. Let's preview some games. Cowboys, Bills -2, over under 50.5. Games in Buffalo, Bills -2. I know, Dylan, you're in the weeds, you're in the stats, you're in the spreadsheets. This doesn't surprise you. As regular football people, you see the lines, you see the Cowboys just dominate the Philadelphia Eagles last week, and you're like, oh man, if you play guess the lines, you're like Cowboys by 3. And then you see Bills by 2. That triggers the trap line in my head, to be honest.
Yeah, it's so I'm in an interesting predicament because I have the Cowboys rated pretty high, And I think some of that's skewed because they just blow out teams. And then the Buffaloes, I have them to make the playoffs. I have them X, Y, and Z. They started out, they got 6-6 with a win last week, 7-6, trending upwards, but got some, I guess, bad luck. I initially liked Dallas. Like, I bet Dallas beforehand. And when I say beforehand, like Sunday night. And I regret that now. Because after looking at the stats, I do think that this Bills team is better. And I didn't properly adjust for the fact that I have Dallas rated so high because they're just blowing out teams.
Whoa, time out. You think Dallas is better, or you think Buffalo's better than Dallas?
Yeah. I bet Dallas
that was his Super Bowl pick
on the money line, and I really wish I would not have done that.
That's his Super Bowl pick, Karter. The Buffalo Bills.
I think this line makes all the sense in the world when you look at the stats and you consider, I know we hate graphs on this show, but you pull up that graph of EPA on offense and defense, and the Bills are like all the way in this bottom right corner. So I'm not going to take a side. I took Dallas. I'm not going to recommend anybody takes Dallas at this point. What I'm really kicking myself in the butt for, I texted you guys. I said, I like a ton of overs this week. And that's not like me. I don't like the overs. And when I sent this to you guys, I was like, I really love Dallas Buffalo. And it was at 48.5. And I didn't take it. I knew good and well it was. I don't know why I didn't take it. Maybe I got sidetracked. But, I mean, both these teams averaging over 5.5 yards per play, both in the top 5 for pass yards per game, both very explosive. And the defenses, especially the Bills, not as solid as years past. Still a good defense, but not quite the Buffalo defense that we saw the last 2 years. I would still go over at 50.5 if you want me to be honest. I think this is going to be such a fun game to watch. I don't know if it'll be a shootout because Buffalo's run defense isn't great. Maybe Dallas will get something going with Pollard on the ground. But it's going to be a great game. I would go over.
I kind of like the over here too. That's what I was going to come in here and say is even at 50.5, because Buffalo, they scored 20 against Kansas City last week. James Cook had a coming out party. He had 140 total yards. Yeah. And for Buffalo's offense to be humming and flowing like it needs to, he has to be one of the dudes. He has to be good for 50 or 60 on the ground and 30, 40 through the air. He just has to. And so he came out last week against the Chiefs. I think in a big game against the Cowboys, he's going to get a lot of work. And also the Cowboys have been humming right along too, just dropped 30 plus on the Eagles. I think this is a sneaky, we always say it, hills and valleys on the season. I think this is a little valley for the Cowboys. And then they bounce back strong next week against the Dolphins. That's my prediction. Yeah. Because right now, the Dolphins are -1.5 on the look ahead next week against the Cowboys, which I think is a little crazy. In Miami, sure. But I think Dallas, might hit a little snafu against Buffalo, but then they come back strong against Miami and finish the year strong. So I like Buffalo this weekend, but I like the over more.
Go ahead, absolutely stoked for Christmas Eve games. I don't know how that plays into your guys' plans, but oh my gosh, is that amazing.
I'm actually sneaky more excited for the Christmas Day games.
Oh, that Ravens-Niners game is going to be a treat.
I'm in one location. I get to just watch football all day. Like, it's one spot. I don't have to go to different families or anything. I'm one spot, football TV, locked in.
High choose.
I'm one spot too, but it's not the right one on Christmas Day. Christmas Eve.
Hey, buddy. That's me next year. Yeah. That's me this weekend. Yeah. I'm going to be watching fantasy playoffs in the wrong location.
Let me clarify. Wrong location for watching football.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Not my mood, or my desire to be there is not the problem. It's just not the clear and most ideal place that I typically want to watch football at.
Yeah. That was convincing. You should go into politics, Karter.
Can't have the
Hey, the PR machine here at the Karter Cast is out of control good. I mean, it's unbelievable. I like Buffalo here. I love Buffalo here. Buffalo at home. I don't know what the weather is. Anybody stats guy weather, anything like that? It's going to be cold as balls, I'm assuming.
Well, I think it's fair to say while Dylan's looking that up, Buffalo, they're not a team that reflects 7-6. Like, this is a team that's much better than their record, and it's a team that I'm not like, I would be terrified to play. I'm not like, oh, they're middle of the road, above 500, like blah, blah, blah. I think they're still capable of being a powerhouse in the league. Now, early in the year, they hit some struggles, but I think this line is what it is for a reason. Like, I still rank them among, teams I'm most scared of, I would say.
You know what's interesting? Oh, go ahead, Dylan.
Are they 1 o'clock?
4:25.
4:25. So it looks like it's going to be 48 with rain coming in around 6.
It's not that bad.
So 16-mile-per-hour wind. So yeah, not too bad.
So
Doesn't
Josh Allen,
Aubrey.
Yeah, Josh Allen, anytime touchdown. That's what I'm hearing.
Ooh.
Allen Rushing
MVP.
Big games.
His MVP odds slashed in half after that Chiefs game. 25-1.
No,
Bills to make the playoffs -110.
You know,
see, I like that. I like that more because maybe Detroit takes care of business in Denver. Maybe our guy, Will Levis.
Our guy. See, that's the thing. We're getting on a tangent here. We don't even get to recap the Titans game because we recorded on Monday before the game.
Our guy, Will Levis, man.
Our guy, Will Levis. you guys have been on Will Levis since day one.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for Davis Mills to just win outright on Sunday.
You're funny, Karter. I tell you what, you get funnier every time we record.
Yeah, you're the best, Dylan. Bryce Young, you got some great takes about him. Yeah. Oh, we're so stupid. Yeah, I love Bryce Young busting. Bills -2. I don't know if there's anything more to say.
I don't hate it.
Game.
I don't hate it. I really don't.
1.5 right now.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. FanDuel.
I don't like the 1.5. I'm just going to take the juice on the money line, and if I lose, I lose. Like,
I agree.
We're not talking big bucks here. If I was, playing huge money, but what? Go ahead, Dylan.
You would have to calculate the implied probability of a team winning, and then winning by more than 1.5, and then does it equate? Because if you're getting -160 on the money line, and then you're getting -110 on -1.5, -2, might be worth taking -1.5 or -2.
Yeah, but then when you involve the Pythagorean theorem, then it gets a little hazy.
-122. But we're talking 20 to win 18 versus 20 to win 1650. So
yeah, we're talking like $9,000 to win instead of like $50,000. Yeah.
Yeah. Carter rolls into Circus Sports and everybody fucking turns their head. Might need to cut that F word. Sorry.
No, we'll keep it.
Sorry.
What would be the Z-score on those two differences?
Oh, dude, Z-score sucked. I hated Z-score.
It's not even applicable in this problem.
No, it's not. But I still think Z-score is annoying when I
consult the table.
Are you a big Q-score? Q-score guy?
P-value?
They don't have enough. They don't have enough of the stats I like.
P-value. That's a good one, Connor. I recognize real. P-score, I see ya.
Oh, I'm here.
P-value.
Greater than, less than. Ravens Jags. Ravens Jags at this point. Ravens. We have Ravens -3.5 over under 42.5. Dylan, anything on this one?
I do. I have to pull it up though. I'm fairly certain it's first half under. This Jaguars team, I don't know. The point of an NFL season, at least for our purposes, is to try to pick and choose when to buy and sell teams. I've said it before on this show. It's almost like trying to play the stock market. And this Jaguars team started off really hot at one point, like 8-4, 8-5 or whatever. They get that blowout loss to the 49ers. And ever since then, they just don't look like the same team. Trevor Lawrence has had a few multiple pick games. So I'm trying to figure out, are the Jaguars any good? They're probably locked to make the playoffs because I don't know who's going to make a run at the AFC South. I mean, I guess you could say maybe the Colts or the Texans. Probably not the Texans. They got to play the Titans 2 more times. So they're not, they're not going to win out.
Maybe the Titans.
Huh?
Maybe the Titans.
Wouldn't that be something? We have Texans twice. I can't remember who else we play, but if we would just beat the Colts in that missed point, Tannehill ruined our season for us, and he wasn't even playing quarterback. He was holding the extra point. Anyway, I do like the first half under here. We know the Ravens have a great defense, and it's a lot better in the first half than it is in the second. It's good in the second half, but for some reason in the first half, they just lock teams down. I don't know if I trust the Jaguars to score, and the Ravens seem to just they don't blow teams out. They score enough to get it done. And I don't know how much they're going to have to score to get it done against the Jaguars. So first half under 21.5 for me.
So with this game with the Ravens and Jags, I don't like either side on the spread. 3.5 scares me. Stay away from that, especially in Jacksonville. Primetime games, I think, with the media narrative, are worth 3 times whatever the normal 1:00 games are, because that's just gonna imprint in people's minds. It's easy to forget the 1:00 games. It's easy to forget about the Carolina Panthers losing every week at 1:00. It's easy to do those things. But with the Jags Ravens, I think the winner of this game is going to get so much buzz and so much then they're going to be, Super Bowl odds slashed in half for the winner of Ravens Jags. And then I think you can buy on the other side. I don't think this game, really has too many implications for me, honestly.
I can't quit the Ravens. I can't do it. I mean, I don't know what it is.
I don't blame you. I
don't know what it is.
They're
but
good.
This year, I've just been so high on Lamar since week 1. And I'm like, he's that guy this year. He's better than what he's shown. He's finally got some weapons. Zay Flowers has been very, very good this year. Mark Andrews going out sucks, but, he could come back before the playoffs.
I have Mark Andrews anytime touchdown this week.
Even though he's on IR. Plus 5,000. Come out with like a cast like WWE. I was like, oh my God, that's Mark Andrews music. No, but I can't quit the Ravens. I also like the under here. Dylan, I like the angle in the first half under. I actually took the full game because I just feel like this Ravens defense is good. And I'm not going to say the Jaguars are frauds, but they've been struggling a little bit offensively, I would say, in recent weeks. So I think there's going to be a lot of running, a lot of clock running based on that run game. I like the Ravens. I like the under.
I don't hate the under in this game either. I don't hate it.
I just really it's increasingly becoming more likely that the Ravens will be the number 1 seed in the AFC.
There's no possible way this game ends in a football score. It's not going to be 24-21. It has to be 19-16.
Yeah, maybe a little score.
Ravens always do that, it feels like.
Yes. Ravens always have funky scores. I feel like the Jags can too at times, and then you put those two together exponentially. Weird scores.
You know what I might bet? I might bet there to be a safety in the game. This just feels like one of those weird, somebody runs out the back of the end zone, or like into the game, they run out of bounds to end the game, or something like that. Just something like the Army Navy.
There's this clip that's making its way.
Punt.
Yeah, there's a clip that's making its way around my Twitter. I see it probably once every other day of some. I don't know who it is, but it's snowing. And some guy takes the snap and just turns around and throws the ball.
Throws it
just straight launches it into the stands for a safety. I don't know who it is or when it's from, but
it's from a long time ago. I think it's like one of the older videos, but I've seen it because it's like whenever I bet somebody's pass yards over, he just throws it out of the back of the end zone.
Breaking news. A Georgia lawmaker has sent a letter to the CFP committee demanding the Orange Bowl between Florida State and Georgia gets added to the college football playoff. Do we think it happens?
I love that. I love it's so funny that politics are slowly turning into we just want our football teams to be good. I guess that's how it's always been, though.
That's how you know it's an election cycle, when the Southern lawmakers are starting to ease their way into college football analyst territory. Like, our team got screwed. We're going to pass some legislation.
It is a disservice. And they're like, oh, my God, this guy fought for Georgia to be in the playoffs. Yeah. Check that box.
When you go to the poll box, just remember who fought.
Who fought for Tez Walker?
For what mattered?
Who fought for Tez Walker? Every NC State fan votes Republican, so Roy Cooper. He's like, yep, I want my North Carolina football team to be good.
What if they did add it? What if they're like, you know what? You guys are right. We're going to add that to the college football playoff.
This is all it took. What
if the Supreme Court's like, dude, I just want more football. Let's make this happen.
So then,
round robin. It's going to be a round robin.
You're telling me that Kavanaugh doesn't want another game to hang out with the boys, crush some brewskis.
I was going to make a Ruth, whatever. I'm not even going to try to say her name because I know I'm going to mess it up. She's not alive anymore, right?
No, she's passed.
Okay, that's what. Okay, just had to make
sure. PR guy on the Karter cast. Good job.
Here's a question. Let's say they add it. Which winner gets a bye to the championship? Because you have 6 games. You have 3 games of 6 teams.
Well, I think that's when the seeding comes in.
Well, I think they would decide that by a committee, and then they would determine who the best team is to get.
We would just have Vegas determine it. Why not just have Vegas determine
go plop down in the Circus Sportsbook, and we'll decide who gets the.
We'll have Jeffrey Benson decide this.
Can I illustrate an issue here? Because that clip seems to get a lot of comparison to the NFL. You want to know the difference between college football and the NFL? The NFL has extremely clear rules on how you make the playoffs. There is no question. There is no committee. There is no decision. You win your division, you're in. If you have one of the best records outside your division winners, you're in. So you can't go in the TikTok comments and say, well, blah, blah, blah should be favored against blah, blah, blah. Why don't we put them in the playoffs? Because there's a way to make the playoffs. All you got to do is win your division. There's tiebreakers. There's situations. We know what it takes. People, man, so dumb.
You love the TikTok comments. You love them.
I'm addicted.
I've got the Instagram notification still on, and I shit you not, I just got one from that Georgia video where Carter's talking about Georgia's going to steamroll Bama. It's still coming. It's still coming. It's been
there
like 2
are
weeks.
500 comments on there, and just I know. I'll randomly pop in on the Instagram feed when I'm getting ready to post a clip, and I'll be like, "Oh, let's see what's going on here." And I read 6 comments. I'm like, "That's funny." All right, post a video.
It's a problem because I want to maintain my credibility, but I also I want to. So like the Michigan Alabama game in reality.
How do you have airtime, Dylan?
Anybody? Mics are cheap these days.
Mm-hmm. Mics are cheap. This
guy ever played football before? I haven't. I addressed that on the live stream this week. I said I've never played football before. I'll be honest. I just love the game. I love ball. Never. Played
I thought about it. I might just start playing. I might sign up for a football team or like a football league, and like get on the team. Sign like a 1-day contract with like maybe a USFL, one of these random arena football league. Sign a 1-day contract, and anytime anybody's like, "You never played football," I'm like, "I did play football."
My brother in Christ. For BYU's assistant coaching job.
You saw the Indeed post.
There you go.
BYU, man. We'll take. I guess they got to take anybody. So if you're looking to be the assistant coach at BYU football, Indeed is just go to Indeed. We're hiring apparently.
Just got one thing to say to those people, guys.
You're not used to getting none, are
you? Who knew we could get Stephen A as a guest on the show?
Yeah, shout out my guy Stephen A for coming on. He saw the 4 letters. Shout out. Thank you, brother. Be good rest of the year. Good luck to you and your boys rest of the way.
Forever shine on, Bill Walton. Eagles -3.5 against the Seahawks, over under 47.5. Dylan, I know you got a strong opinion on this game. I know, because the anti-Eagles rhetoric is about to start cooking even more, isn't it? We're adding gas to the fire.
So this is where that dilemma I just laid out really comes into place, because I could hit it home, boys. I could say it's going to be all Seahawks. If Philadelphia's losing again. The Seahawks are a better team. The Eagles are overrated. Their defense is awful, which that part's actually true.
Hypothetically,
I can't do it. I texted you boys and I was like, I think Seattle might win, but I cannot pull the trigger on it. I can't make the hard statement because Seattle, the defense is just as bad. We don't officially know if we're getting Geno or Drew Lock. Now, granted, Drew Lock didn't look that bad against the 49ers. He had 200 plus passing yards. It wasn't awful. I cannot plant my flag in the ground here. What I will say, I do have a strong feeling on this game. One of my biggest plays of the weekend is actually in this game. First half over 23.5. I think it's 24.5 now. I would still take it. We took the first half over in 49ers Seattle, cashed in like, I think it was 20 minutes of game time. Both of these defenses, 2 of the 6 worst in scoring percentage allowed, 2 of the 3 worst third down conversion percentage allowed, 2 of the 7 worst red zone percentage allowed, touchdown rate in the red zone, and 2 of the 10 best in passing yards per attempt. Whether you're getting Geno Smith, whether you're getting Drew Lock, I don't think it matters. This Philadelphia defense has regressed so much since the last 2 years. Why? I'm not sure, but almost every metric shows you that. And I think there's going to be points in this game. No one's ever knocked Seattle for their offense. It's usually their defense. So I think there's going to be a lot of points quick in this one. First half over, I think it's 24.5 now.
Connor, anything on this one?
Yeah, I think this is a classic don't overthink it game. I mean, Dylan just gave the numbers to back up the over, which I love. But this is a get-right game for Philadelphia. It is. It's a get-right game.
No way you're doing this.
I think you take the points. I mean, I really do. It's the perfect time. It's like, Eagles have looked shaky the last few weeks. And I've made a considerable margin or considerable amount of money fading the Eagles the last few weeks. This is a get-right game. Guys, it's Drew Lock. If Drew Lock plays, are you kidding me? I don't care that he had a good game last week. It's Drew Lock.
So why is this the get-right game instead of next week at the Giants after they just came off like
that's not
6
even
of the toughest games?
I mean, we don't even need to do that. The Giants.
What do you mean? That is their get-right game. They come out and they beat them by 30 points.
I still think this is a get-right game for the Eagles. Monday night, prime time. Couldn't you just see like, why do we ever doubt the Eagles? Which I'm not going that far to be like they're going to win the Super Bowl. But I think they beat this. I don't like this Seattle team. They're not great. I don't like
them either.
That's true.
And if you could get like it's 3.5 right now, that's not too many points. It's not. I like the Eagles. I'm not going to be like, 5-star biggest play, but I am taking the Eagles 3.5. Go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead.
I'll give you 3.
For what? What do you give me 3?
I don't know. What do you want to bet? I'll bet with you. Think about it. We'll
5 guys.
The Eagles. I hear what you're saying. Like they're due for a get right game. They are coming off one of the toughest stretches I think that any team has endured this year. But the way they've won on those stretches, that doesn't tell you anything about how good they are, right? And we've gone through it. I'm not going to go through the laundry list of what happened in the Bills, the first Cowboys, the Chiefs game. I don't see how you can confidently do that.
Because the Seahawks are not the 49ers. They're not the Niners. They're not the Cowboys. They're not a good team.
But all season long, they've never blown out a team. Their most convincing win was probably the Dolphins in the middle of the season.
Yeah, and I might get burned, and I might be thinking of the Eagles of last year and the Super Bowl and all that, but there's just no way they don't have a convincing win coming up. And maybe it's the Giants. It probably will be, but I like them against Seattle.
I could think of a way that they don't have a convincing win coming up because of what I saw against the Patriots and what I saw against the Commanders twice and what I saw against these other the Jets are an exception where they probably should have won that game and they lost it, which doesn't happen very much for them.
Zach Wilson.
That was BC, Zach Wilson BC or BS before sitting.
BS or Tim Boyle BC. Something like that. We can workshop it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But anyhow, I'm worried about the Eagles, man. I'm worried. Yes, they've played tough teams. Yes, they're going to close out the season strong. Yeah. I'm not willing to take the Eagles minus 3.5. No way. No way. And also, like Dylan mentioned it, if Drew Lock plays, you sneaky like the Seahawks a little more for no reason.
Lock. He's going to come out and throw 3 picks, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, I didn't know what I was getting so hyped up about."
But he just played against the Niners.
I don't care. It's Drew Lock.
And didn't DK get ejected from that game? So how long did he play without DK?
He didn't.
DK was like the 3rd or 4th quarter. He played most of the game with DK.
Okay.
And also, DK had that big touchdown.
Let me be clear. I'm not saying that I'm confident in the Eagles and there's no problems anymore and they're turning it around. But this week, I like them to thrash the Seahawks. It'll be by at least a touchdown. Come on.
One word answer. We'll start with Karter. Do the Eagles win the division?
Yes.
Connor.
Yes.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do.
I think they do. But if Dallas loses to Buffalo like we think they might, this loss to Seattle really wouldn't matter if they did lose.
And Dallas is underdogs to Miami next week. So.
And then they get to play the Giants, Cardinals, Giants. It's the Eagles. But the other thing is, if the Eagles lose this game, I think everybody in the world, especially Philly fans, did it when they lost their first game, but the panic button is going to get smashed into pieces if they lose this game against Seattle. And I think rightfully so, because then you're like, okay, yes, you guys played that tough stretch. You had a hard schedule. You got to beat Seattle if you're a Super Bowl team. And they could, even if they lose this game, they could still win the division, no problem. And you're still very worried about them, even as, a 12, 13-win team?
Well, you said, Karter, you said it. During Monday Night Football, you said primetime games get triple, towards the narrative and everything. I think it's even more than triple when you're dealing with a good team that people love to talk about, like the Eagles. I think it's 5 or 6 times more because you're right. The panic button will be smashed. People will be calling for people's heads to roll. Big Dom's going to be back in the news cycle. Who knows? Who knows what will happen?
Yeah, Big Dom. Dylan loves himself some Big Dom.
I will transition ourselves out of this game with one little stat tidbit to help the over. Bird game. Bird game.
Oh, it is a bird game. Fly high.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of points. A lot of field goal. I'm not. Bird
a lot
game.
Of passing.
We need to get John Ewing on bird games. How many times they go over?
Do we have the same poll as Bill Simmons does? We'd be like, hey, John Ewing, for the Karter cast, could you find this for us?
Yeah. We're gonna need bird game sets. Anything else in the NFL in these games particularly, or do you want to do parlay picks and get into other NFL topics before we get out of here?
Rat line of the week: Panthers +3. No way it should only be 3.
That is the rat line of the week.
No way it should only be 3. And that tells you all you need to know.
I don't know about rat. I don't like it. It's the quintessential rat line, but I also understand because Desmond Ridder sucks.
Oh, he does.
He doesn't. He doesn't though. That's the thing. He doesn't.
Does.
He just can't. He can't take care of the ball.
Well, you got to factor
that means
that
he's
in.
Bad.
Yeah, you got to factor that.
That doesn't mean he's bad. That doesn't mean he's bad. It means he can't. He just
so
turns the ball
Jameis
over.
Winston, when Jameis Winston throws a 30 for 30, that means it's not Jameis's fault.
I never said it's not Jameis's fault. That doesn't mean Jameis is bad. Brett Favre.
Yeah,
Exhibit A.
throw 30
I rest my
picks.
case.
30 picks, 30 interceptions. He went 30 for 30.
30 touchdowns?
He did have 30 touchdowns.
There we go. I'll rest my case.
500 then. I guess he's a 500 quarterback.
500 gets you in the Hall of Fame in baseball.
Yeah, well, I think
we're so stupid. Let's do parlay picks. What do you guys got?
I'm going to go with the Philadelphia-Seattle first half over.
Okay.
I like it. I'm going Bears-Browns under 38.5. Bears defense, sneaky been good lately. Second best rush defense in the league. Second in opponent total rush yards, and they're second in opponent yards per carry. I think there's going to be a lot of running in this game anyways, which not with not many results is what I would say. A lot of clock running.
A lot of running with Flacco.
That was my other bullet point is, let's pump the brakes on Joe Flacco. He's been
there
awesome,
we go.
But it's Joe Flacco, and he was on the couch 5 weeks ago. So let's pump the brakes on him. He's due for a little shaky game. He's not going to come out and throw 50 times again. No way.
I have two I like, and then I'll let you guys decide them. We could do a Saturday game with Bengals-Vikings over 40.5. Or
okay, I'm listening.
A gross one. Texans-Titans over 37.
Ugh. I hate both of those. You want me to bet the over with a Brian Flores defense?
I like the Bengals.
Jake Browning. Let's go the Saturday one. Let's go Vikings-Bengals because then we have a Saturday, a Sunday, and a Monday. We've never done one of those.
And plus, Vikings, Nick Mullins, first game of starting quarterback. He might air it out.
No, Jaron Hall might be in by halftime.
Let's pump the brakes on Jaron Hall.
Let's pump the brakes on the BYU boy.
Yeah.
Hey, whoa. We're taking over the league little by little. Zach Wilson's back. Puka Nakua's top 5 in receiving yards. Jaron Hall probably going to be the next Russell Wilson. He's dangerous.
Algier's going to break out next year. Putting my stock in that right now. He's going to go somewhere else and be good.
Yeah, Algier feels like an AFC South running back.
Can we talk about something real quick? I'm going back to the TikTok comments. We posted a TikTok about Puka Nakua being Rookie of the Year, right? Offensive Rookie of the Year. And some guy commented and said, well, CJ Stroud's top 2 out of 32 quarterbacks, right? Well, it was in passing yards. And Puka Nakua's, I think, he said top 5 for wide receivers.
Yeah.
There's 100 wide receivers.
Also, is CJ Stroud still second? I don't think that's true anymore.
He's definitely not anymore, but I don't know when he posted. Actually, no, he is. I checked it today. I think he is.
Okay.
But still, you're 2 out of 32 compared to 5 out of 100. Let's do some math here. 2 divided by 32. 1 out of 16. 1 over 16. Reduced fraction. Multiply 5 by 16. That's 90. There's a lot more than 90 wide receivers in the league. So whoever that comment was, I know you're watching. That was really dumb. And he tried to keep arguing with me, and I just stopped responding.
I'm proud of you. There you go, Dylan.
That's when you hit him with the okay.
Okay, that's a good one. I've tried to adopt the Stephen Che approach of people will say, this stinks. You have no platform. Who do you think you're reaching to? And I will just say, I appreciate you taking the time to respond. Thank you for taking time out of your day to respond.
Thanks for your input. Yeah.
Thank you for your input. I will build off of this.
I might just do
just for you.
I might just do what they put on the cookout cups, and I just might comment, "God bless America," and that's it. Just no context.
And then when you're feeling real tired or you have a long day at work, just GBA.
God bless America. You're going to win over all these Southern voters too. Calling for a 16 playoff. Karter.
I know. Why am I all of a sudden becoming all a little PR here? Am I running for office that I don't know about?
Trying to get this show some sponsorships. That's the real motive behind it.
We're starting the Vote for Karter Foundation.
You could be the head of the DOD, Foundation. Department of Dog. National Department of Dog.
Yeah, been there, done that. Saturday, Bengals Vikings over 40.5. Sunday, Bears Browns under 38.5. Monday night, first half over 24.5. Eagles Seahawks. That's the podcast parlay this week. Other NFL topics real quick I want to hit before we get out of here. Belichick. The report comes out from Tom Curran from NBC that, hey, Belichick, it was basically decided after the Colts game in Germany, Bill Belichick getting out, he's out after the season. Was it real? I still haven't decided, haven't figured out if it's legit or not.
Is what real? The fact that he's not coming back?
Yeah, it was the report. I haven't seen it.
Apparently that guy's pretty credible.
He's got 170,000 followers. It seems legit, and he seems like the Patriots insider. But also, it was is no one going to confirm this report?
When I read it, so I don't know if you guys remember this, but when the Colts and Patriots game was coming up, it was like the London game, I think, or Germany game or
Germany,
something.
yeah.
Germany, yes. There was talk about that. If the Patriots don't win, then it could be Belichick's, way out. And then once they lost, I feel like we didn't hear anything about it until just now. So I believe it because I do remember that being a conversation, is the fact that if they lose that game, it could be, I don't know if they said the end for Belichick or like it'd be his last year or whatever, but nothing. We heard no reports after that game. So I do believe it. The question is, I saw that one offshore book had his the favorite for his, the odds-on favorite for his destination after New England was Carolina. Do we want that?
I mean,
out of touch. I'm going out of touch.
We can't be picky as Panthers fans. We can't, have our cake and eat it too, because anything right now is an upgrade from what we have.
We said that last year.
But it just feels like Belichick coming. Like, what's that going to do? Like, what's Belichick going to do with this roster with Bryce Young? Like, really, what's he going to do?
Really bad.
What would any coach do?
I don't know if Belichick's got it in him to come to a team like Carolina. Like, wouldn't you go to a better situation?
I think he would go to a better situation. I would keep the Chargers.
Chargers? Yeah.
The Chargers or Vegas feels a little more right.
Oh, something tells me you cannot let Belichick near Craps table at the MGM. I feel like he would just tear that up. He'd be skipping practice. Like, oh, where's Bill at?
Those poor ring doorbell cameras would just. Hopefully, they don't have those in Vegas if he goes there.
The Bill's shooting dice at the Aria at 4 a.m.
The Department of Dog needs to take into account those doorbell videos. That's all I gotta say.
After the Raiders go 1-6 with Belichick, he's having to go from the Aria to El Cortez.
Yeah. He's going to that OYO that has the dollar hand blackjack.
And there's a Hooters in there too.
Mark Davis is sitting right across from him.
I think there might be a Johnny Rockets too. That's how you know it's legit.
Johnny Rockets.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want Bill in Carolina.
I don't either.
It's crazy to say that. Like I said, it doesn't feel right. They need a young guy in there. It feels like, Ben Johnson. I don't know. Just throw names out there.
Well, maybe who? What if they
Lions
trust tree? They're going to decline our interview, so might have to just get what we can.
No, I think it's either Ben Johnson or Brian Flores. That's what I tell myself, and then eventually it's going to be like Dabo Sweeney.
You guys do agree that it's time for Belichick to move on from New England, right? It's just this like constant black cloud over their head. It's just like a big Belichick this, Belichick that. Like it has to be time for a change, right?
I don't think so, because I think the only change needs to be he needs to stop being the GM. Just let him coach.
But do you trust him with a Drake May or a Caleb Williams? Is he the guy to lead the Patriots into the next phase of their franchise? Is Belichick the guy, or do you wash your hands of it? Say thanks for the championships. You've been great. You'll be a legend here always. But we need to hit the new era. We need to hit the new era. I mean,
I don't know if you're thinking Bill for those. I think you're giving a call to
TB12
317 area code up in Ann Arbor, and hey, thank you for the championships, because it seems like it might have been a little bit more of a Michigan man thing than it was a Bill Belichick man thing. I'm just saying, I don't know. That's another career that a Michigan man has made.
Speaking of former Patriots, Cam Newton.
Mike Vrabel. Oh.
Nah, close. Nah. Cam Newton comes out. He says that Brock Purdy, Tua, Jared Goff, and Dak Prescott are game managers. And everybody in sports media is freaking out, talking about that. He's not entirely wrong.
I think game manager is the wrong word or phrase to use, right? So like Tua, I think Tua is a good quarterback, but yeah, he benefits from having the best wide receiver in all professional football on his team. Jared Goff, I don't know how you call Jared Goff a game manager, because you look at his roster, like he has, I guess he has great running backs. St. Brown's a good wide receiver, but it's not like he's got a star-studded lineup that he's throwing to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say I hate to do it. You kind of can make a case for Purdy, because I feel like there's a lot of quarterbacks that, I'm not saying Purdy's bad, but there are probably a lot of quarterbacks out there that thrive under Shanahan's system.
Jimmy G was in a Super Bowl. He was one quarter away.
I mean, that's what you need to know. And then he goes to the Raiders, and he's AOC playing over him. You know what I'm saying? So who was the other one?
Tua, Dak, Brock.
Dak. Now, Dak, I don't know if I agree with, because Dak has shown us over the course of a couple years that he has that ceiling. If he can keep the interceptions at bay, then he thrives. Now, Karter, you have something?
Well, I keep going because it's going to be a little different.
Yeah, I just think that you have that aspect of it. Is Cam right? And then you have another aspect of it. Should Cam even be saying these things in the first place? Because you think about his career, I understand that he means a lot to you guys, but this is the guy that got benched for Mac Jones, right? So for him to come on here and say, oh, these guys are system quarterbacks, people make the comparison to Dan Orlovsky or these people on ESPN that have never played. Why are they allowed to comment on it, but a guy like Cam Newton, who has played in the league and has had success, isn't? And it's not so much that he isn't, but it's different when you're not that far removed from the league. You just got benched for a guy that's bad, and then you're coming out here and you're taking unwarranted, unsolicited shots at these guys who, for the most part, they're all pretty good quarterbacks. So I don't know. I think it's an odd move, but I also don't think he's completely right either.
I don't think he's entirely wrong, though, because I think if this NFL season has taught us anything about the quarterback position in football, situation clears everything. I mean, we see Mahomes right now. Mahomes doesn't have even top 25 receivers, like top 25 receiving core, and they're barely they're barely winning their division at this point.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott this year has been, he's got a great offensive line. He's got Tony Pollard. He's got CeeDee Lamb. I don't know why it hasn't happened in the past. Maybe I think Dak is kind of the exception in this conversation, but we saw Tua when Tyreek Hill goes out of the game. He's a much worse quarterback. We saw in Brock Purdy. I think you made the comparison with Jimmy G. Like, I understand that. I still think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, but I think system clears everything.
But even if you have a good system, you still have to have a quarterback that can make the throws, right? And like when I think of a good system,
But then you can just do this. Let's put Kirk Cousins in these shoes. Kirk Cousins probably does just as good, if not better, than these guys in some spots.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but like you have the New York Jets who have one of the better offensive lines, and
the Jets?
Yeah, the Jets.
No.
Their offensive line's fine.
No, it is not. Have you watched football?
Don't even start, Karter.
Get the stat sheet out. Get the stats out. And do not just from the Texans game all season long. The Jets O-line is terrible. The Vikings O-line, very good.
Can you give me an example of a team that has a nice situation?
The Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
They have a top 10 offensive line. They have a solid defense. They have great weapons with Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Tyler Algier. Kyle Pitts should be better. I don't know why he's not better.
I'm pulling it up.
I do have a take on this, but it's not related to this argument, so I'm just gonna let y'all duke it out real quick.
So I was wrong. I was wrong about the pass play.
There we go. I was like, I've watched all these Jets games. I know they suck.
But it's fine with being. Sometimes that's all you need, right? A game manager is all you need. Now, I don't think Tua's a game manager. I don't think Dak definitely isn't a game manager.
Peyton Manning's last year was a game manager. That's all the Broncos needed because they had that insane defense.
Yeah. And to me, it just seems odd for Cam to come out and make these claims, like do this little media tour. I don't know. Something about it feels weird with me.
I got a take on this. So people have like been attacking Cam Newton personally over this, and it's like, oh, why the hell do we need to hear from this guy? Blah, blah, this and that. He's just trying to stay relevant. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. It's like, I want to stay in the news cycle. But here's another thing. There's so many people at ESPN. I worked up there in Bristol for a year and a half. I've been around it. They'd come out with some of the most outlandish takes just to get clicks and views. Literally, producers are like, say something crazy and then back it up because we need headlines. And these are people that have never played before. And so Cam Newton was a quarterback in the NFL for a long time. He was an MVP. He was a really good player for a long time. His opinion, you might not agree with it, but it should hold some kind of weight. Like, we're talking about a guy who's in the league. He's not just some rando off the street saying this and that and has never played a snap in his life. Why don't we give that the same energy to the people that have never played? I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, you never played a snap football,
because
so you don't know what you're talking about.
But I'll ask this. Do you think Cam Newton's grinding any tape? Like, do you think he watches football on Sunday? That's my question.
No.
Like, what do you think he does on a Sunday? Like, I'm dead serious. Like, on Sunday, do you think he's sitting there watching Scott Hansen and, all right, I got my NFL Sunday ticket. Let's rock
I don't
and
think
roll.
he's Ryan Russillo, Tales from the Basement, sitting there watching every game, taking notes, but he did play in the league, and I feel like maybe he's watched enough to form an opinion, and I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying it should be avoidant of any criticism, but people are like, oh, this guy's opinion has no weight. This dude played in the league, and maybe it's my Panthers bias shining through, but I don't know why he's getting all this crap whenever people that are on TV that have never played before saying even worse things, and nobody bats an eye. That's my qualm with it. Is like, why is he getting so much personal hate? I don't agree with his opinion. I don't agree with the game manager comments, but like, why?
I don't think the game manager comments are that bad because I think it's being taken way out of.
Dak is a little much.
I think it's just being taken way out of context. I just think what it really boils down to is, look, they have an unreal situation. A lot of quarterbacks are going to succeed in all of those guys' positions.
But let me counter with this, Karter. You said Cam Newton's not watching film every Sunday. I agree, but all these analysts on TV at ESPN or Fox or wherever,
they're probably not watching
all
film
these
either.
all these former players. Let me tell you right now, they have producer meetings at 6 a.m. before the show comes on. They get filled in on what happened the day before because they didn't watch everything. That's just how it is.
We're recording right now at 6 p.m. Eastern. Kornheiser's in bed. PTI just went off the air. Like, he's already in his jams.
But like these former players, they come on, like, they have opinions that matter. That's why all these companies are hiring former players. Like, I don't know if Cam Newton's a good example of that or not, but
but if there are positions out there where no matter who gets in there, they would thrive. Why is Cam Newton not there?
Because he's
why are these guys?
How old is he?
They don't need him right
upper
now.
30s? I mean, he's not an NFL quarterback. I don't think
because
he didn't say I'm better than these guys.
He tried though.
I think
he got cut for Jones.
But I think the Cam Newton thing is it's more of like, hey, he's more of a distraction. Because we know the NFL thing. It's that, hey, like if a backup guy or like a fringe guy is a distraction, and anyway, we're gonna take the guy that's not a distraction and is just a steady guy, like a CJ Beathard, where you don't have to think, or Teddy Bridgewater.
Chad Henne was a great example.
Yeah, Derek Anderson, like those kind of guys. Chase Daniel.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
my Panthers bias is probably shining through. I'm probably cutting too much slack.
Yeah, Charlie Whitehurst, go ahead.
Of course. I don't know. That's all I had to say. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with his comments, but I think he's getting too much hate for making the comments. Like, come on.
Also, I will say I haven't watched the full clip, so I don't know if like he took a shot or if someone asked him about it and he just said, "Oh, I think he
and that is." That was my point. Like, hey, is it getting taken out of context?
Yeah.
But anyhow,
we need to start taking people out of context on here. How can we do that?
Oh, I can slice and dice some of these clips to make it look like we're saying something we're not. I mean, we've said some pretty interesting things on here.
Puka Nakua. All right. Real quick before we go, I know we're on a time crunch right
Bowl
here.
pick.
Bowl game pick. We're gonna turn this into a parlay.
I like it. We got to end the year strong.
Yep, end the year strong. I'll give mine. Arizona -3 against Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got a lot of guys sitting out. Nobody knows who's playing on Oklahoma. Arizona, it looks like all their guys are going to be playing. Their quarterback, the head coach will actually be there. I think they lost their offensive coordinator maybe. Tracker's ridiculous, but anyhow, give me Arizona -3. No Dylan Gabriel there in Oklahoma, and a lot of their defense is leaving too. So Arizona -3, Alamo Bowl.
I like it. Take me down to Dirty Myrtle. Take me down to Cherry Grove, the Myrtle Beach Bowl, baby. Georgia Southern -3 against Ohio. All I need to know, Ohio's starting quarterback, out. Starting wide receiver, out. Starting running back, out. Backup running back, out. Their leading passer and rusher is the backup quarterback. You don't know his stats? 65 yards passing, 107 yards rushing. That's their leader in both categories who will be starting this game. I don't care if Georgia Southern's 6-6. Ohio doesn't have an offense. So give me the -3. It dropped from 3.5. Take me down to Dirty Myrtle, baby. Feel like I'm 18 again.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I feel like you have to watch this game in a Hooters if you're going to bet on it.
Well, it's 11 a.m. So if you're that horny at 11 a.m. to go to Hooters,
that makes my point even better. Like, yeah, I think you have to watch this game in a Hooters if you're going to bet on it.
That's good.
Get me down to Dirty Myrtle, Dylan.
Potato Bowl. We're going.
Oh, I love it. Utah State.
There we go. Utah State all the way, averaging 70 more yards per game, 60 more pass yards per game. They have a slightly better defense. And you might be saying, well, Dylan, it's bowl games. You have opt-outs. You can't use stats because half these players aren't playing, right? Utah State has significantly less opt-outs than their opponent. A question mark at quarterback. I love Utah State here. And they're a team, I came into the season pretty low on them. They proved me wrong. Utah State, and this parlay is going to hit because I love both your guys' plays as well.
Okay, but timeout.
Okay, timeout.
Two things. Who are they playing?
Not a clue. That's why I didn't say a team name. I said their opponent.
And what's the actual spread?
It's money line. Say pick them. Yeah.
Okay, it's middle line. Okay. Who are they playing? Someone give stats.
I'm looking.
Alexa, who's Utah State football playing? What's
Georgia
the point
State.
of having this thing?
It's Georgia State.
Okay, love Utah State there. That's a home game for Utah State. That game's playing in Boise, Idaho. We're going to get, Boise. Sorry. People from Boise get mad if you say Boise.
The
not
bourgeoisie.
Boise. You got to say, suh. It's like, and when you say Louisville, it's got to be Louisville. Who
That
cares?
sounds like your mouthful of peanut butter.
Illinois.
Louisville. I love Utah State here. I'll tell you why. One word. Altitude. Utah State's used to altitude.
This is a sneaky sharp parlay. Let's be real.
I like this one a lot. I've bet Arizona already. I took the under in the Myrtle Beach Bowl, but I was leaning.
I like the under
I was
too.
leaning Georgia Southern.
I like the under too.
All right, that's our parlay. That's our college football bowl parlay. We're not going to do this whole competition, 5-star this, 5-star that. Follow on Twitter at Karter_Sparrow, at Wilkerson A. Dillon, at Karter BA, at KarterCast on all social media. If you want to get those picks, college football parlay. Utah State money line in the famous Idaho Potatoes Bowl in Boise, Idaho. Georgia Southern -3 in the dirty Myrtle whatever bowl.
Grit and grind, 11 a.m. Take me down to Cherry Grove.
What is this? Yeah, it's just the Myrtle Beach Bowl. So,
it is the Myrtle Beach Bowl, yeah.
The Hooters Myrtle Beach Bowl. I didn't know if they had a sponsor or not.
And it's Waves.
And then
the Waves convenience stores.
Broadway on the beach. Sponsored by Broadway on the beach.
And then when is this Oklahoma game even? I mean, I'm this is so stupid.
How about the Pop-Tarts Bowl? Aren't
NC
they supposed to
State.
have the first edible trophy?
It's the Alamo Bowl, Arizona, Oklahoma.
Yeah, okay, 28th.
The 28th.
So, and then we had, Utah State money line, Georgia Southern -3, Arizona -3 in the Alamo Bowl, San Antonio. All right, that's it from us. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back Monday, college basketball NBA pod, like I've mentioned before, at Karter_Sparrow, at Wilkerson A. Dillon, at Karter VA, at KarterCast on all social media, KarterCast.com. Be there, blogs, full episodes on there as well. Subscribe on the YouTube. Subscribe. Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening to the podcast. Thank you so much. Rate, review, subscribe, follow, whatever it is on that app. Do it. Go ahead, support the podcast. We'll see y'all next time. Wednesday, NFL, but Monday, basketball. We're back for basketball. So we'll see y'all next time. Bye.